This is the intro. Hello, everyone. Welcome
Hi.
to the Spirit Studios movie review. It's me, your boy, Mr. Beefy, Ultimate Beefy, aka Dylan, and I'm accompanied with Marcus
Hi, that's me. I'm
and,
here.
and Carlos.
Hello.
Everyone give him a round of applause. He's present. Good job. You made it.
Welcome back, Carlos. It's glad to have you back.
Yep.
The silence speaks volumes of how much he hates us. We haven't even started recording Gears yet. This is how bad this is.
I can't wait for it to get worse.
But, so, as you all know, with our movie reviews, this is going to be explained for those who have not seen our movie reviews. We basically do a spoiler-free version where we give our initial thoughts, what we thought could have been better, without having anything heavy on it, and then we give our initial review out of 10. No half points. We give ourselves 10 for a reason. Then, we give you a spoiler warning, tell you to go watch the movie, and then we go into our spoiler-filled review with a final score. Did it reflect on us actually talking about it with each other? Did we convince each other that it might be better, it might be worse? And we go from there. And the movie today that we're reviewing was one that I picked called Illang, The Wolf Brigade.
Yes.
And with no spoilers, I actually enjoyed this. I really wanted to watch a good action, to be honest with you. Like something with a good like punch of action that kind of reminded me of John Wick, if not Jason Bourne, something along those lines. And
yeah, sorry, I was pulling up the cast. I agreed. This is very like your basic action movie of government plot plus action movie. I fly around and shoot people.
yes, and the main thing that hooked me was the armor and gun design. I heard from a couple of my friends who've seen this movie that this movie does the gun work and design and the actual count of bullets very well. And then that's all I'll ever remember about this movie.
Yeah, the design for the what were they? The special
They're initially
unit?
called the Special Forces Unit, and then there's a subsector inside of them called the Wolf Brigade, who were assassins.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mention too much about that because then that's leading into spoiler territory. But yeah, the special unit,
that's just a rough idea.
just the trooper outfit is really cool. It honestly reminds me of something almost Warhammer-y.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Mixed with like Wolfenstein.
I was thinking Wolfenstein when I watched this. I was
Yeah.
like, that's definitely Wolfenstein with the red eyes. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
And the fact that the helmets and like the armor was very like German World War II-esque. They even used the German machine guns, the MG42s, as like their main carrying rifle for some reason. Which
I
was
wonder if
also
that was the
badass.
message they were kind of trying to relay, as kind of like, since they're doing the whole reunification of the Koreas thing. Like, I thought that was. Do you think that's maybe what they were kind of trying to relay? Like, this is what an allied power would look like, or what our idea of that is?
I definitely
in a
think they
sense.
were trying to hint at it being similar to like like World War II German SS's and secret police and shit like that. I would agree.
Right.
Because it was very symbolic, I would say, with the uses of their weapons and their armor and everything. But to be fair, with the designs that they had, they did have for some really kick-ass moments, like because they had red glowing eyes for lenses. So you
Yeah,
get moments where it's
that's-
like pitch black, and you just see those eyes just glow, and then there's 80 of them,
Yeah, it's so cool.
which also played well into the title because the movie is called The Wolf Brigade. And for those who have not like seen anything with like nature and stuff, a lot of times if there's a predator like a wolf, you see just their eyes in the darkness when they're lurking. So I thought that was like a really cool play on the name.
Yeah.
Anything none? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there was like a I'll talk about that in the spoiler part. It's because you made me think of something I want to talk about, but that later. If you want to go ahead and give your general thoughts and score.
I was gonna ask Carlos if he had any non-spoiler stuff that he wanted to like throw in there. Anything about like the pacing, sound design, stuff like that.
No, yeah, you're good, man. I pretty much thought this is without spoilers. I'll have a lot more thoughts with spoilers, to be honest with you. I thought this was
We
an overall
always
pretty
do.
good movie. Good action, yeah. Good action. I had some things that I would pick at, but yeah, go ahead. I'll get more into that later on.
Okay. So my initial reviews is that, without spoiling it, the sound design, which is one of my biggest things personally, because I love my audio, is sound design was good when it came to some of the action beats, and it used silence in the background perfectly fine. Like if there's an intense moment with a character fighting another character, it didn't use the music to make it build up. You could just feel the tension from two characters on a certain scene, which I liked. The guns were awesome. The armor, costume design, everything was awesome. The idea of the future, where this movie was made in like 2018, and it was talking about, I want to say, what was it, 2024?
Yes.
Yep,
Or is it 2028?
It's 2024. Dude
Okay.
said in 6 years, in 2024.
Yeah,
Did
so
you know
the
this was
initial premise
originally-
was 2024, which was the beginning of the plot, and then it time skipped later.
Yeah. This was originally a movie that came out in 1999.
Yes, this was actually an anime adaptation. Well, this is a live action adaptation of an anime movie.
Oh, it is an anime. Okay. Because I was wondering what this old movie was. And there you have it.
And I would say, with that also included, I did love a lot of the basically the metaphors and messages that they give by doing comparisons with like certain childhood stories, which we'll get into that in the spoiler-filled one.
Right.
It did fill that itch for like a true action-y kind of thing. When I was texting Marcus, I basically said this is like Korean John Wick meets like Jason Bourne, if not
Yes.
the Total Recall, something along those lines, where you just use those super soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I said starting off, I'm gonna give this a solid like. Oh, before I do that, I will say my biggest gripe about this movie:
Mm-hmm.
the pacing was okay, but they sucked at explaining things.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I texted Marcus like talking
Yeah,
to him about it.
you were like, have you watched the movie yet? I was like, no. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Hour later, have you watched the movie yet? No. Why? Well, I'm very lost, but it's good action though.
Yeah, and then I'm like, yeah, this should. I had to pull up someone else's review and like synopsis of the movie and read it while I'm watching it to get a clear understanding of what the fuck is happening. And then the movie then it just overexposed me to like content, because all the context clues come to near the end of the movie, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, so this thing that they showed me from like an hour and a half ago is now being explained. Thank you. And that was like one of my biggest gripes, is that it sucked at explaining things. Another thing too is that the English dub sucked for this, in my opinion. I thought the dub was really bad.
Yeah,
So-
you told me that, so I didn't bother to investigate, and I also watched Korean sub.
And I thought that was good. So I would say out of 10, I'm going to start off and giving this a 7.
Okie doke. I'm number 2. I'll go next. Okay. One of the things that you said you liked, the storybook themes, I heavily disliked in this movie. I thought it was way overforced, and I wasn't a fan of it. Also, the love interest in this movie, I was not a fan of either. The
Same.
whole way that it was portrayed it just made me go, really, the whole time. Every time something was happening, I was like, yeah, that's how we're gonna do this. It felt very inhuman the way it happened.
Fucking
It's like,
speak on it, bro. Let's go.
it's so forced. Just not happy about it. Which we will gripe about when we get to spoiler territory.
Oh, we will. Oh, we will. Yeah, and I get to start off spoilers. I'm gonna rip into it. That's my biggest pain point for this movie. I can't
Carlos
wait.
is like, I'm here. I'm going to tear you a new one now because I'm
seething.
pissed off.
Dude, I was seething. No. Go ahead. We're getting there. Go ahead,
I
I was gonna
Marcus.
say, it upsets me because like I feel like most of the movies I picked out haven't been like the greatest, and I've been trying to find like a really fun movie that has like good action and something that we can all just enjoy. And then
Don't
just-
worry. Next week's
mid.
movie will be plenty of action and comedy together. We got this.
To be 100% honest, if you cut the love interest portion of this out, this movie is way higher than what I would give it. Because it's like,
Yep.
you watch Jason Bourne or whatever, John Wick, it's not for the fucking story. I want to
Nope.
see kick-ass action, but it's still a great movie.
Exactly.
Now, this movie tried to have a good story, and it was going somewhere, and then it ruined it. So,
this is what Hardcore Henry should have been.
Yeah. My score is currently at a 5.
Wonderful. And that brings us to Carlos.
Yeah.
This is just the non-spoiler one, just a reminder.
Non-spoilers. Okay. Well,
he's like, I'm so ready for the spoilers. This is gonna get.
And on that note, my score is a 5. Now we're gonna go. Now, guys, at this point, we're typically going to spoiler review. I'm just
ringing the alarm. Ringing the alarm.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's one of those movies that I think just is gonna benefit from us doing spoilers. I think in a non-spoiler way, I'll give you a couple sentences. Basically, I thought this movie had great action, like they said. I thought that the sound engineering was great. I thought the score of it was good. I thought the love interest was absolute trash. Basura, throw it away. That's it. I think what we're going to go ahead and do is act like it didn't happen. But the fact that it did happen brought me down to a 5. Now, by the end of this, if you somehow manage to bring me up any higher, I will have to still look at it and be like, I'm still dropping it because the love interest was that bad. And as we will see in about 30, 45 seconds when we start the spoiler review, it changed my take on the movie by the end of it. It literally impacted how the end of this movie should have gone.
Yep.
And I hate it so much because of that. So, that is my take. I give it a 5. That's a 5 from me, a 5 from Marcus, and a 7 from Dylan?
Yeah, I had a 7.
Dylan, you're too nice. All right, so
I liked it.
Respect.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. There are redeemable qualities. I think you gave it the score that me and Marcus would have given it had the love interest thing not been so bad.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right. Once again, wee woo, spoiler.
Wee woo.
You've been warned.
You have been warned. Oh my God. Here we go. Okay. So, here's what I'm about, right? I love it. The whole story, I genuinely think that the story wasn't even that bad. Yes, they could have explained it better. But when I had the synopsis up, because yes, I also had to look up the synopsis and be like, what the hell is this supposed to be?
I felt like I could follow everything and I understood it. I'm glad you both did not like the love interest thing. That was what made me, I don't follow. That's what I was talking about when I texted you.
Because she threw me off. She threw me off.
I followed the story start to finish like this makes sense. It made so much not sense is why I got confused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was the main reason why I had to look up the synopsis, which, honestly, dude, and I don't know if we've had this conversation before or we've had to do this before, I don't like really having to pull up any kind of synopsis first time I watch a movie. It kind of ruins it for me. It brings it down a lot where I'm like, nah, dude, I like being able to take from the movie. If I'm not able to take from the movie everything I need to, then this probably isn't a good movie to me. And I knew different for this movie where it's like, it's actually good. It's exciting. Jun Kyung is the name of the main character. He's a badass. Liu Kang kicked a dude at one point. No. And this is my favorite moment. Liu Kang kicks a passenger's window. And then ends up kicking the dude in the driver's seat. And the dude falls out the driver's window. I was like, you're the fucking goat. Alright? Jun Kyung.
I also agreed because like there's moments where you see like these special agent women who are ready to just shoot him. And he's like, equal rights, equal fights, baby. Slams one of their heads through a window and an arcade machine. And just beats the shit out of them. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
I do want to give them, like, kind of go through with them real quick. So there's a special unit. Jun Kyung is the main character. His name's, I'm going to call him Jun. So Jun, he's part of the special unit, right? Now, he's part of the special unit. At one point we hear that he may be that they assume, the Public Security Division assumes that he might be part of what they call the Wolf Brigade, which is a part of the special unit that hunts down corruption. They are fighting corruption, right? Which is great. That in actuality, that's what they're doing, right? They're also assassins, basically, because he's a savage. Honestly, most of my notes here are, man, what a savage guy. He's such a savage.
To give everyone context, the beginning of the movie starts off where North and South Korea are being reunified, and they establish the special unit police force to hunt down the terrorists, which are against the unification of the Koreas. And all the big powers of the world are against the Koreas unifying as well. So there's a lot of turmoil in Korea right now from both inside and out.
Yep. So, that being the case, the special unit is there to basically keep the peace, and so that way they can reunify the two Koreas and then, just go about their lives because there's all this turmoil in the world. All right, cool.
But the Special Forces unit gets a really bad reputation because of a situation called Bloody Monday, if I'm correct. Bloody Monday,
where they ended up accidentally killing. Yes, they killed 15 innocent girls, and they do mention. So, like I said early on, I was able to follow it very well. They do mention basically portraying that there are people on this unit that from Bloody Monday or Bloody Sunday, whatever you want to call it, whatever it was, these 15 innocent girls were killed, basically. And these guys have guilt. They do have guilt. They are people on a unit. Yeah. And it fucked them up. June is a character that also, we will see, has guilt from the things that he's having to do. One of them being, so there's a riot that happens. Sect causes a riot. They chase them into the pipes, the sewage area, right? They chase them through there. And then the unit arrives, June and his unit arrive, they have special armor, which is where the special armor we were talking about, the Wolfenstein type armor, that comes in play. They wear that, and the special unit goes in and starts killing people and starts killing the bad guys, the sect, the terrorists. Mm-hmm. Among them are suicide bomber kids, like little kids that they're forced to be suicide bombers.
Well,
now...
They're not initially suicide bombers. They were bomb runners. All they did was deliver bombs because the opening showed a little girl in red, which plays important to the story later. She just delivers the bomb to Sect at the protest rally. Yeah. And I also just want to throw in there, every time the fucking Special Forces units got introduced to the screen, I literally audibly said, "Oh, hell yeah." Like, they always portray them as a force to not be reckoned with.
Yeah. Yep. It's bad. So, like, it's just badass the whole time. So, they go on. June ends up coming across a little girl. She makes it, so she basically, he doesn't want to kill her. He doesn't. He obviously clearly has a moral dilemma where he's like, I'm not going to kill this little girl, but she's also not going to, he doesn't expect anything out of her.
He tells her to surrender.
Exactly. He tells her to surrender. He puts his gun down, points his gun down, and she pulls it, and she blows herself up. Now, this is in the news. This causes some issues. So it goes on to where, that being the case, the special unit gets suspended for 4 weeks because of the incident. Now, then the chief of the special unit's like, oh, well, something's up here. The public security department, who is also against them, by the way, who they've already kind of said is kind of corrupt. They haven't really, they've kind of hinted at it, is corrupt, right? They're against them. So they're like, someone over there, it's them. We have to look into this. So June goes, meets this guy, Han. Han's a high-ranking official who actually used to be part of the Special Forces unit, special unit.
Han, from his very beginning betrayal, obvious bad guy is obvious.
And obvious bad to June.
That is another point. Yeah, that's another point. He's a very obvious friend to June, who's gonna be a bad guy by the end of this movie. Like, come on now, we know this.
But that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes obvious bad guy is fine. He played his role very well.
Exactly. If you play it off well and it gets paid off in the end, which it does.
They also kind of hinted at the secondary antagonist being the actual not the commissioner, but the commander of the
director of
the director.
Thank you.
Him.
Both of them, the director of the Special Forces and the director of the Public Safety.
Yep, both of them. And then so June meets Han, and he's basically trying to get him to take the kid's diary, the girl that killed herself's diary, and says, hey, take it to her sister, who's her older sister. Take it to her older sister. She's alive.
His conversation was basically, hey, you know that person who committed suicide? You should go talk to their family and be like, here's your dead family member's journal. That'll go over well.
And I would say that, like, Han actually did kind of play it off well, because like this might help you get closure, because he could tell that June was having issues. He just got sent to re-education. He had to go through training, and the director of the Special Forces whooped all of their ass.
Yeah,
he did.
And June is like, man, you're a bitch, and just walks off.
Exactly. and June doesn't initially want to do it, but eventually he does. So he starts seeing the kid, like, he goes through a little training section, right? The next part of the movie, basically, he starts training, and he sees this girl that died. And he sees her, and he's like, oh, shit, I have to go. I feel bad about this. He's ridden with guilt. So logically, all right, cool. So he goes to give the diary, the journal, to the sister. Immediately, I sit here, and I'm like, she's going to be a love interest. I can see where this is going. Yeah, no, it got bad fast.
From the beginning of meeting her, she's framed as this beautiful woman. They do the love interest shots and everything, and she's walking in, and I just go, no, don't do this. No, everything about this is wrong. Hey, I killed your sister, but you're hot. Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
I was ready for like
and
a
immediately
cool
pays it
mental,
off.
like I was ready for like June to have depth and him like be like, I know what I did was wrong. I know that I should have been able to talk to her. Like, you know, actually confide in the family. Like, hey, I did something. I didn't do what I could have. And I was ready for a moment like that. And then
I'm a soldier. Your sister died trying to kill me, and I'm a savage. And that's all we got out of June. I'm fine with that at the same time. Like, I'm a savage, boy.
I audibly said too when they started doing like those same shots you mentioned. I was like, God damn it, they tricked me. It's a fucking romance movie.
Exactly. But then, and even after this, like, she pissed me off immediately, because then immediately after this scene, she meets with Han, and you're sitting here like, obvious bad guys, obvious. No.
Yeah. And you're like, she's a piece of shit too now. And then at this point of the movie, you're like, I know exactly what's going to happen the rest of the movie. She's going to betray him. He's going to forgive her. He's going to have to save her. And they end up together.
Hold on. But this is only the first of her double crosses. This is only the first of her many. There's many. I think there was a total of 4, but as we go through this, guys, you guys can tell me whether or not you counted 4 or not. But yeah, so she crosses him here, right? This is the initial crossing. You would
think this is like a Miami Bulls and Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat fucking basketball game with how many crosses there are, dude. Like, holy shit.
Nice.
It's so pointless. It's so pointless.
I appreciate the choice of teams there.
Yeah.
Yep, but it's bad.
It's throughout the movie, you see him just be like, no, I don't actually give a shit about you. And I'm like, yeah, he's great. He's not falling for this shit. He sees through her bullshit. And then at the end is kind of like, but I do like you. No.
Yep.
Why?
Yep. Well, no, at the end, it's like, we're going to get there. Because the I do like you is way too extreme at this point. It pisses me off by the end of the movie. So this is when Han explains, the first time we get a full explanation on screen of what the Wolf Brigade actually is, which is when it says, all right, it's a unit within the unit that kills the opposition, makes sure every task goes accordingly, and then kills corrupt individuals to protect the objective. Right, cool. And then the public sec guy's like, yeah, June is part of that for sure. We don't know that, but at the same time, bro is a savage. So at this point, I'm like, I bet he is. He's a savage.
No,
all right.
They don't know that June is part of it.
No. They don't know, but the guy definitely hints. He's like, he thinks that he is part of it.
They don't hint at it because they don't know who it is. They're saying we don't know who. They're saying we know it exists. We're scared of it, so we need to get rid of the special forces in general. And he's the perfect fall guy for it.
Yeah, we're going to pin this new controversy exclusively on June because June has, he clearly has mental issues going on from experiencing both Bloody Monday and the girl committing suicide, which then the director of it would be like, well, not the director, but someone, I forget who, basically says that, well, that also helps because if you take out June, the morale of the entire Special Forces unit goes out.
Exactly. Yep. And it was because it's a plot point that he is the only member of that assassin group. He is the assassin group. He eliminates everybody. That.
You know what that doesn't explain? This next part and this entire character who I didn't think was needed in this movie. So then we meet Mi Kyung. And Mi Kyung is this woman who is part of she okay. So we're clear. Mi Kyung finds out Yoon is a sect member. She's a special forces
she's known
unit.
that she was a sect member because they were both in it.
And then the love interest, I think her name's like Yoon Hee.
It's Yoon.
Yeah,
yep.
Yoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yoon then got out of the sect thing because she was offered a job she couldn't refuse as a spy.
Because yes, yep.
Yeah.
So she's like, you bitch, how dare you turn your back and show your face back around here.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yep, and me is just whatever, man. Yeah, so I have a note here that's basically Mi Kyung is a snake, Yoon is a snake. No one in this movie has morals. Everyone's selfish, and June is a savage. All right.
Yep.
And also the dude with the jacket and the baseball cap, June's other friend Kim, the one who later gets captured like near the end of the movie. he's also a badass the whole time because he's like following. It's basically a triple follow. Like all three of them are following each other to a degree.
Yeah.
Where Yoon is trying to meet up with someone, then the current sect member, I forget her name, she starts chasing after Yoon, and then Kim is playing like also spy, and it's like, oh shit, we're looking for her anyway. This is perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
So me is the girl, by the way. Her name is Me. It's Me Kyung. So Me. So after this, they meet up. So Yoon meets up with the snake of a girl. June meets up with Yoon. Isn't it nice? Their names rhyme. They're so wonderful together one day, right? So he notices something's off. They meet up. She's clearly a snake. It turns out that in this case, she goes to the bathroom. This is the whole plan. She has a necklace with a tracker. It's all supposed to lead to him dying.
Ahead too much. What happens next is when they meet the first time is she's captured. The sect member, Me, is captured and taken. And she is then forced to tell them essentially find out who the current sect member leader is, because no one knows who the leader is, not even the current sect members. And so that's when she also becomes a double agent, because everyone's a double agent in this movie.
Everyone's a double agent, except for June, who at this point is main character, and I don't feel we are fully focused on him at this point. And it's
because he captured her. It wasn't Kim, it was June who captured her.
I'm pretty sure that was Kim, because if June would have heard that the love interest was
it was by chance. That's why he understood that the two of them talking was bad later on in the movie when he overhears them and sees that. That's why he goes, "Oh shit."
Well, I thought it was Kim, because the guy Kim who gets captured way later, who was supposed to meet up with them, they were in the exact same outfit. Like the exact same outfit, brown jacket, black hat.
Yeah, they had the same outfit, but he didn't have the jacket. He had the same hat though. I don't think so, because I think
this is what we're talking about. This movie was hard to follow.
This is where I lost track of the movie. I'm
pretty sure it was the main character who did everything, because that's why when he saw the two women interacting, overheard their conversation from around the corner, he goes, "She's going to betray me for sure." And then when they finally do meet up, he notices all of the planted public safety people are in the tower once they walk in, and they're supposed to be meeting up for their not date but sort of date.
All that and then some.
Yeah, and that's when
I had that hella confused.
Yeah, that's when the chick comes back in again and interrupts again to talk to her, but now she is a double agent and is saying, "Hey, don't trust the public safety people, because now I'm working for the secret unit to find out who our terrorist leader is, because I don't like him anymore."
There was a point in this movie where I was just like, her character to me felt it was I kind of hated it immediately, and was just like, unless she starts with the Rush Hour 3, I'm me, I'm you, I'm me. Yeah. Like does that, she's gonna piss me off a lot.
No, she's just there for plot device to deliver things to basically the main girl, and that was about it.
Exactly, and also kind of be an exposition for us, but not a really good one, because we're also getting the same exposition from the following scene pretty much every time she comes on, and that's okay, right?
Yep.
But yeah, so that happens. This point, can I lead off from where I was then, because we kind of caught up on that one.
Yeah, we're caught up to the tower.
Yes. So they met up. Yoon goes to the bathroom.
Yep.
She has a tracker on her. People are tracking her. The public sector people are tracking her.
She didn't activate it yet.
Was the tracker just off the whole time? We're supposed to assume that the tracker was off the whole time?
This was a sting operation set up by the state security, who were trying to capture Yoon.
See, well then that makes no damn sense. If you had the tracker on you the whole time, the tracker was either you're just having a dead tracker. The
tracker was there in case they fled. The tracker was there in case he kidnapped her, and then the special forces took her, or it was there in case what's about to happen would have happened.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
That was the only purpose the tracker was there. It was literally just a MacGuffin to help the state security make sure she's covered in every area.
Yeah, there was a scene with Han where he says literally, if you're in trouble, hit this button, I'll come find you. That was the whole point of the tracker. It's not always on.
It was just a MacGuffin, in my opinion. It just helped for later scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, in context, it makes sense why they would give her one. It makes no sense that it's not always active.
That was my logic behind it, so I assumed tracker, it's always active because
It's not.
what's the point in turning it on if
Yeah,
it's already there?
exactly.
I mean, if you have it, you don't need to use it later because it's always tracking you. So,
Yeah, if Special Forces captures her, interrogates her, and she doesn't have the chance to turn on the tracker.
No, that was my logic behind it. Like, no, they wouldn't have a plot hole that glaring or stupid. Like, that's not. No, it's not like it's Special Forces. It's okay. Yeah. So she goes in the bathroom.
Yeah,
She comes out the bathroom. A lot of
she's
bullshit's
debating.
happening.
Yeah, she's debating whether to actually go through with her mission because her brother is dying in the hospital, and her mission is to frame him basically for being crazy. She's supposed to just drop a firearm in front of him, and she ran into me, and that's why she's panicking now and went to the bathroom like, I don't know if I can do this.
That was the shit that pissed me off because they explained to Mi Kian, if I'm saying her name right, they were explaining to her that I forget who was explaining it. There's exposition that the gun that Yoon had was the same gun that was used to assassinate 2 members of the state security who were trying to get her to do another job, and then they were gonna pin that gun on June and make him seem like the assassin all along.
Yeah, which
But
it's
no one had gloves,
ironic.
and there's just fingerprints all over the fucking gun of everyone who touched it and their mother.
Yeah, exactly. Ironically, they had her assassinate these people, and they were going to blame him to be the assassin that they were not really sure if exists, which he actually turns out to be the person they're trying to blame him for. There was multiple levels of parallel in this movie. That was another one of them. They're like, oh shit, he actually is the person we didn't know if they existed, that we thought we made up. No, he's real, and he kills everybody. He murders everyone because he cannot be stopped. But there's this scene basically after this shit goes down and they have to fight their way through, and Jun kills everybody in the public safety as they're trying to escape out the tower. This scene was irritating because he would have died. I get that it's action, whatever. He ties a fire hose around them and drops like 30 stories down.
Dude, there's so many stories to it. This is such a large building.
So many stories. And it just goes, It's tied around their waist, and I go, nope, cracked in half like spaghetti. Nope,
your spine is broken. Your neck would have been broken.
They're dead.
So your legs break upon
all
impact. Whatever part of your body hits the ground shatters. I don't really want to know what else you have left, man. You're dead, regardless.
So dead.
Okay, but June is a savage, as I said. So he does it because this is the part where we get my favorite scene of the movie. Yes. The Liu Kang kick of death through a window, into this guy's face from the passenger side window. I can't explain this again without being like I'm frothing at the mouth. So happy. It's such good action. He fucking Liu Kang kicks the passenger side window. His foot goes through, hits the dude in the driver's seat. He flies through the driver's side window. And at this point, he gets in the car and is like, hell yeah, this is my car now. And I'm like, you know what? You're damn right it is. Your footprint's all over it. Hell yeah. Yes.
Great action scene ensues into when there's confrontation where Han finally talks to June. And Han's like, I'm not a bad guy. And this is where I'm like, they can't possibly make June so stupid because he sees through all of Han's bullshit and calls him out on it. So I'm like, he couldn't possibly fall for this girl. They're just trying to make us think that she's going to be the love interest, but she's not. So because he's too smart, he sees through everything so far. He couldn't possibly fall for this girl.
Yep.
But he does.
Who is now being hunted because she failed her mission. So she's not just a snake. She's not just a snake. She's a bad snake. She's a snake that failed. If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby. Yes. I'm gonna... almost means no. You almost did it, and it means you didn't do it, damn it. Therefore, she failed. All right. So then...
Yep.
Oh, it gets worse. This is about, I want to say, I lost track of time at this point. I think this is 20, 30 left. But
So, do you remember?
I remember at this point. I remember from the point that they. I remember from the point that. So I remember from the point that he tells her to go. That he tells her like, "I'll let you go."
Yeah.
And that his chief starts calling him. So if I missed something between that, but basically I remember they escape, they get away, they're hiding, and he's like, and then his chief is calling him saying, "Hey, bring her to me, or turn her in." So that way because obviously she's attempting to stop the special forces unit. That's a bad thing. So turn her in, and his chief is calling him about it, and he's like, I can't really. All right, we'll see. And then basically goes to her and is like, "You have to leave. You have to escape." And she's like, she starts to like him.
Yeah.
She starts to like him, but not just like him. Oh no, we're not there yet. But she starts to like him. We're gonna start there. Yeah. He tries to let her go. The chief says, "Turn her in." She overhears at some point the chief telling him to turn her in, and decides, "I'm gonna be a little snaky snake. I'm gonna do my snaky snake thing." So
let's
now
turn on the tracker.
Let's turn on the fucking tracker, and then it cuts to Han being like, "Yeah, I got her. Go get her, guys." And at this point, every single one of the public sector comes in.
This is when they scoop Kim though, because they scooped up Kim right before they found the tracker. Because they're like, "We have no leads. Please tell us where June is."
Did I forget everything that happened with this girl? I mean, I know I didn't.
Yeah.
We went on like a big escapade where they took taxis and then the
I mean, I saw the whole thing.
Han,
was it?
Yeah, Han loses his shit trying to interrogate Kim and kills him.
Yeah, and Kim does the badass thing, tries to get the gun off by ripping the duct tape, and then sadly leads to him getting his head blown out.
Yep.
And then we go into the next badass scene where they're in the sewer system where we're back to the beginning, baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is where the movie should have ended after this scene.
So the big fight. The big fight. Everyone's coming in.
Yeah, they get down into the sewer though, and she's like, "Listen, I betrayed you again. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me."
And this is the part that kills me. She's like, "I betrayed you again. Kill her now. Kill her now." But June, being a savage, at this point, I don't think he's dumb. I think he's such a savage because he gives her this blank expression, and it's just like, "Give me the tracker. I got this." He has this, and he's like,
"This was a trap for them.
This is a trap for them. I knew they were coming. Dude, everyone's gonna die."
The
chief walks in.
Dude, the chief has the most badass line I've ever heard in any movie in a minute. And I'll let you guys say the rest of the part, and then I'll get in mine.
Yep.
So bro walks in, and the chief walks in. He's like, "All right, cool. We're gonna give him." And it turns out this is the big reveal that it's not the biggest, craziest reveal, but also a badass reveal nonetheless. Because he gives him special armor, and he's like, "Oh yeah, bros, he is in the Wolf Brigade. He's him." He
is the Wolf Brigade.
There
is no Wolf Brigade.
Him.
He is.
It's June. Very often I say you're the man. You're him, right? You're him. June is him. All right. The whole time June's him, bro. That's it. He gets a special armor.
Fucking rocket launcher ammo as it comes at him into the wall. He's like, "Nope."
Oh, bro, there was a point where he got hit. It dinged off him, hit the wall, and it said, "Bing!" And I was like, "Yo, such great shit!" Some of the murders in here were the right amount of gore. I was not overtly there's gonna be blood on my screen the whole time. Not hardcore Henry level of we need to overdo the blood because the movie sucks. No.
Yeah.
It's just I can see that this person got shot. I can see they got shot through the head and they're falling. That's exactly what I got to see. And I was so happy the whole time I got to see these moments.
And this scene was definitely elevated because the director explained, because while June is just getting strapped up in this armor, and he has a really cool power armor equipping scene, the director is explaining to you in this entire time that you are perfect bait for this entire situation. You thought you were actually trying to get the wolf. We are not people in wolf clothing. We're wolf in human clothing. And it just cuts to just June putting on the gas mask, and it's about to go fucking down.
Exactly.
Bodies every one of the basic agents, not even like special forces.
No. Special Ops comes next because Han,
Yes.
after he debodies everybody, Han deploys the Special Ops because he says we have to deploy Special Ops because June's killing everybody at this point. June doesn't care. June's a savage. I told you guys. Well, if you're listening, I told you June's a savage at this point. I told you. All right. So Han is like, Special Ops, please. Please, they're killing everybody.
I was so happy, too, that he wasn't slow in the power armor. It was just like, when he walks slow, it's because he's, like, tracking. But when he fucking books it and takes them down, I was like, yes. That's where it really makes me feel like he is a Space Marine. Because they're huge, but they can fucking move. And they're like, I'm coming for your ass.
Bro.
And the fact that he got a freaking, like, harpoon gun through his leg and got dragged through water and still proceeded to stand up and whoop everyone's ass in that room was just such a badass moment.
Everyone in that room, he's like, everybody's getting it. You guys, it felt like another moment where they're like, oh, we got him. Oh, no, I got you. Trust me. Y'all brought me in the room. This is the only way I was getting in this room without getting shot.
I got you
guys
in
all.
here for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Come down here.
You're going
it's like,
nowhere.
bro. And then at a certain, so June doesn't flinch. He just keeps killing. He just keeps it going. And then finally, Han is the only one left. And we said this earlier, Marcus. He's bad guy as long as they pay it off correctly. Oh, did this fight pay it off correctly? Everything about this fight was, you're going to look at me, I'm going to look at you, we're going to shoot each other, and only one of us is going to die.
Before that, too, because the whole thing was that Han just looked at June as just that old fellow cadet that was with the Special Forces from the start. And he's like, he's nothing. He's nothing more than an idiot. He's a simp. He fell for this all along. And then
he is a simp. Yes, he is a simp.
But like that's Han's like whole mindset. He's like, he's nothing more than an idiot. He's not that strong. He's just one fucking guy. There's no way he could take out the entire state of security agency.
Which I will say is dumb to think when he just killed everyone.
And that's what I'm going to get to, where the last surviving member is like, we need to go. We need to go. He is the Wolf Brigade. He is literally the thing that's been killing us this entire time. We need to leave. And Han promptly goes, shut the fuck up, and just shoots him. Point blank, unloads into him. And the guy just dies like, fucking idiot, and just goes off to fight June, thinking he can stand a chance.
Bro. Like, and it's so good. Han has one of my favorite, like, obvious bad guy deaths. You know, like, as far as the, like, obvious bad guy that's going to be a bad guy is bad guying, you know, behind the scenes. Yeah, he has one of my favorite deaths to see, because he just gets shot so many times. So many times! He unloads what I thought you'd think a clip. No. This feels like 4 clips. It's like he's just going crazy. He shoots him so many times.
The fact that I mentioned earlier that they used guns perfectly in this is because, you know, you'd have people using MP5s and like pistols and they're shooting over a bar counter and they're all like, oh shit, we all have to reload. And that gives, you know, June time to kick their ass. June came into this scene in the sewers where this all started with a belt-fed MG42. He had belts of ammo ready. When I say who needs fucking ammo, he did not need ammo. He came with a bullet for everyone's name.
Yep.
And it was done perfectly.
Yeah, and the final shot, too, where it's like, because Han tries to get him with, like, a sneaky grenade launcher when he's on the ground underneath the water. And June, like, kicks it, and it's like, nope. And
he's
then
like, don't you fucking try me.
Yeah. He, like, fires through the water up at him to be disrespectful. Just rip bullets up through him.
Now, my thing is, if they didn't have the shitty love interest in here, I would have preferred a scene where June just drops his gun and just starts throwing hands in the armor, just beating the fuck out of Han for like 5 to 10 minutes straight. I would appreciate that as much too.
That would have been good. I think what we got was fine. So he murders him. Right. And at this point, you're thinking, well, what's left? Naturally, the love interest has to come out.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Now, this point in the movie, guys, dropped me down by a total of 2 points. I was at a 7.5, almost 8. And I was like, this movie ends perfectly. This is an 8 movie. You know? And it didn't. Because the fight that happens next, I was like, oh, this might as well bring it up. Hey! Okay, so basically the chief's like, all right, assassinator. What?
Yep.
What?
No, let's go execute.
And it's like, yeah, he's like, oh no, you thought this was over? No. Bad person. Horrible person.
Well,
you ain't no simp boy. I need my.
The director says a line that I was like, yes. They bring her up. He's like, what are we gonna do with her? And he's like, take her to somewhere else, and then we'll execute her. I don't want her bodies with all the others. I'm like, yep, because fuck her.
Yep.
Die.
Yep.
But yeah.
And I was like, I'm down. I'm down with that. She is a traitor. You know, if anything, right now is the perfect.
Yep.
I thought morality at this point. And don't get me wrong, a lot of this, I don't want to get into political aspects of it, but there's so many things that stem in morality, right? That they excused here. They excused a lot of the moral standpoints for this movie to happen. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But this is the one thing, like, a very obvious personal, like, I'd say, like, a personal disdain that I had with this movie was, how are you going to let someone betray you 4 or 5 times in one movie? And you are the Wolf Brigade. Like, you're him, right? You're him. You've shown that you can be a savage. Your emotions aren't there when you need to kill all these people, unless it's a little girl who you didn't want to kill, right? Like, that's the only thing that really impacted you that we saw. And this girl is her sister, and I get it, bro, but at the same time, kill her. Just kill her. She's a bad person. She's betrayed you several times.
Yeah.
And then she's like, so he's going to do it. And he didn't want to do it, but he's like, why did you do it? You know, why did all this happen? He's like, why didn't you escape when you had the chance? And she's like, basically because she loves him. Which pisses me off more than anything. Because I'm like, don't play my boy. Don't do this. Don't.
Before that, I would say that I agree. That was such a bullshit line, and that was so stupid. The thing that got me, this is where I wanted to support the director in this fight, to be honest with you. Because he literally tells Jude to his face, do you think making this decision's easy? Do you think all this is fair? Do you think, like, everything's all lovey-dovey and good, and just because you like someone, they can all just, you know, blow over? No, we have to do the right thing and get rid of the fucking snitch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, kill
exactly.
her. So,
as
you know, if you don't want me to do this, hands him the gun, you do it. You kill her. I can't. Well, then you're just a bitch. And then he just walks off like, man, you're just a punk bitch. He was a simp. And I was like, yes, director, you're correct.
And he gives him time to do it anyway.
And then he doesn't, which then the director comes back in his own armor. And
in his
says,
own
whoop
armor.
your ass again.
Yeah, and then when I was like, round two, baby, we're going back to that training scene.
I'm like, this training is about to go crazy. And I'm like, what if at the end of this, he's like, the fight happens and he almost kills him, and he's like, you need to train again. And then shoots the girl, and it's like, all right, June, let's go back to training.
That was like a very badass scene too. Was like, he confirms with his sniper who he had off in the distance. Did he kill her? No, the target's still alive. Do you want me to shoot her now? Nah, I'll handle this.
I'll handle this.
It just goes to whoop his ass. He's like,
honestly, I wanted him to come in with a much bigger suit and be like, I am Optimus Prime, and let's just kill everyone in the room. But, like, you know, I'm fine with this too. Because honestly, I was like, go ahead, Chief. Kill him. Kill her. At this point, this is insubordination. Gotta kill him. She's a horrible person. Gotta kill her. I've been wanting to kill her half the movie. Fuck. Like, and then, yeah, so this fight ends up being a stalemate, like, after a great fight. After a great short fight, but a great fight nonetheless. Ends up in a stalemate. And June puts his gun down. He's like, I'm not doing this. He's not going to kill his director. He's like, no, I'm not doing this. And he quits.
Because they had on each other, and he was like, nope, you can shoot me if you want to.
But I quit. Yeah, basically, I'm not doing this. So then...
and then
I thought they were going to do like an Old Yeller scene. Because they hint at it, where the camera pans and you see the director pointing his gun at him. Yep. Which, mind you, they weren't guns. They were just fucking noob tubes with, like, rocks in them and shit. And you see it just pans up to the ceiling, and you hear a gunshot.
Yeah. They make you think he killed him, which he didn't. For
some reason.
Yeah, the whole ending part is then shows Yeah, main girl is now off and happy on her own. She has
With her, no, not her, with her little brother.
Yeah, I know. I was getting that. Because it first shows her by herself. She's got a new, and it shows the, was it me girl? She's got her new identity, which who cares? She's
Which
got
was
a new
part of
bank
the
account.
whole story that she had, which is
They're
stupid.
wrapping her up. They arrested the public safety president because he was actually the leader of the terrorists.
Yeah, the safety.
They were funding
industry
sect.
were funding,
Which they kind of
They were funding the sect. Yep.
They said he was the leader. The sect had been funding, and he was the leader because they were the terrorists. They were making their own problem to solve to begin with.
Yep.
And they were planning on starting a coup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to be in charge, and that was just kind of like that's how we're gonna end that whole thing. Just kind of like, all right, that was 2 seconds, and then the girl's fine with her little brother, and June's like all like, hey, you guys are fine. He sees them on the train as they go bye.
Yep.
And then
And
roll
North and
title card.
oh no! And the most important part, guys, North and South Korea resumed their reunification talks
Yep.
because that's the most important part of the story.
Now, obviously, we hated the
Roll
love
title
interest
card.
thing. Here's what they should have done because I could tell what the story they were trying to tell was. All right, this girl had to do a lot of shitty things to get by in her life, and it wasn't her fault. For say, this is what they're trying to say. Like, she was forced to do a lot of this to keep her family alive, to protect a lot of them. If they had her not be a piece of shit and betray him, if they had her not do the whole love interest thing, and just had them be good friends, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to kill this girl from what she's been through. She doesn't deserve this. She deserves better. She deserves another chance. That's one
The
thing.
love thing was a push. The love
thing
way
wasn't
too
good.
push.
The second thing is they never gave her a redeeming moment. Her redeeming moment was, oh, actually, I did betray you. I'm sorry. After she thought he was about to get murdered.
This woman has no redeemable quality except for at least I did it for my brother who needs surgery.
Yeah, it's just they didn't redeem her. They didn't do the love thing was just a bad idea from the beginning. It's a horrible idea to be like, hey, you killed my sister, but I love you. No, we don't do that. That's just not a good idea. So, yeah. Either this movie should have ended in the sewer where after he murders everybody, he pops her in the head, cut to credits. Or two.
I vote for that one.
Yeah. They do the thing I said where she's not a piece of shit so much and she actually redeems herself because then they could do the thing that they're trying to do with June where he's like, I don't want to kill any more innocent girls who don't deserve this. She wasn't an innocent girl that didn't deserve it. She didn't redeem herself.
She was a very she was
Not
very,
innocent
not
person.
innocent, and she was very I don't know, deserved everything she got coming to her.
Yes.
Yep, no, she was guilty. She was guilty as shit. Guilty as charged. Please
That's
kill her.
the one,
Please kill
officer.
her. Please kill her
That's the
10
one.
times over. It's her. Turn her in when the chief says it earlier. Turn her in. Instead of being like, you should leave. No. You should come with me. You have no choice in the matter. You're coming with me. I'm turning you in. You're going to die. All right, cool.
That would have been cool, to be honest with you. Sorry
Roll
to cut across.
credits. You're fine. Roll credits. You know, but roll
I would have loved it even better if, like, they're having this argument, and the director's like, fine. You like her so much? You want her to survive so much? Okay, cool. And then just comes back immediately in the armor, just starts whooping his ass in front of her. Just turn, bitch. Gonna get your shit rocked.
No, after he puts his gun down and is like, go ahead, kill me. He's like, I won't kill you. Boom, shoots her instead. All right, now that we've got that out the way, can we stop? We're going to stop fighting. We're going to go get some tea. We're gonna get somebody to clean up all the dead bodies because gross.
That actually would have set up a good sequel to where June, being as much of a simp that he is, would have probably killed the director and then try to have a whole hunting down the special forces unit.
That's what I was afraid of, and June going against the special forces in any way would have been wrong.
It would have been wrong. I was like, bro, you at the halfway through this movie, I was convinced that June is him. 75% of this movie, I was convinced that June is him. It took to the 90% mark where I was like, don't go from him to simp. Don't do it. Don't do it. You were Hemi Neutron. Hemi Turner. Himbo Slice. Now you're Simpy Turner. Now you're just Timmy Turner because he's a simp already. I don't even need to add simp to it.
I got you. He was literally the guy from Spy Kids. He pulled up. He was awesome, and he was just flat.
That's the guy. That's the guy. He's definitely the guy. And then you're back to, all right, Junie, you're the guy again. Oh my god. The director's like, all right, fine, I'll be the guy again. I'll do it, my.
If you want something done right, you have to
gotta do it yourself. Oh my god, gotta love it, man.
Alright, I've said my piece. Do you guys have anything else to say?
Oh, I fucking hated that lady.
So, Carlos, start us off with final reviews.
Alright, so overall, absolutely wonderful action. June is him. I'm sticking with that. June is him is my caption for the movie, at least. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I think that this movie, like I said, my initial review score was 5. It genuinely got impacted so heavily by all of the, well, in the middle when I kind of lost track of what was kind of going on because they added too much to it, they overconvoluted it, whatever. And then the love interest spanning throughout it that didn't need to be there really dropped me by like 2 to 3 points. And through this conversation, I did not feel anything positive, but I don't want to say it negatively impacted me too much. We just kind of all shit on the movie a little bit at times. So I'll go from 5 to 4, and I don't think this movie would have gone that low had they just not pushed that love interest so badly. I actually feel bad about giving it a 4, but that's where I'm at with it, you know?
Based on the amount of disenjoyment, I'm thinking about Kantara, and I'm like, this is 5 territory for me still. 5 for me is average movie. The action was spectacular, but it's just so ruined by some. It's like you can have the greatest movie about any one specific aspect, but all it takes is one thing to be extraordinarily shitty to really.
Like Hardcore Henry, that's a 10. Ended up. Yep.
Dude, if Hardcore Henry wasn't first person, it'd probably be a great movie.
Honestly, yeah. I just want to know what the main character looks like. Like, what the fuck?
You find out. It doesn't have any effect on the movie, but you find out. Yeah, so for me, still a 5. Wouldn't watch it again. Don't hate it. Don't love it. Dylan?
Reflecting on this movie, I'm thinking about all the movies we've watched together as friends since we started this. And I'm thinking to myself, like, is this better than Black Adam?
Friends.
Okay, associates, coworkers, fuck you.
Coworkers, there we go.
I think to myself, is this really better than Black Adam? Like, Black Adam had great action, in my opinion. Like, better than this.
Yep.
Is this better than other movies I've seen before? On action levels? Some, yes. Others, fuck no. Was the romance probably one of the worst romances and made me cringe the entire time? Yes, I was watching Twilight again. So unnecessary. This knocked it down to a 5 for me because, you know, as much as I love action, I love like the symbolism of them using the Grimm brothers version of Little Red Riding Hood.
That was another thing that I did not like.
You didn't like that?
No, it rubbed me the wrong way because it was. I don't want an explanation of Little Red Riding Hood to me for 5 minutes from the girl that I already don't like, and she goes on about but the real story is that the wolf. He just eats her and there's no happy ending. I'm like, fucking shut up. I don't care.
Yeah, if it would have came from anyone else, it would have been better, but I still like the analogy of it throughout the movie because it is called the Wolf Brigade, and we have this, like, overarching, like, background entity that we are suspect of it being one person, multiple people, who knows?
Yeah.
But
it's brought up at the end again, too, and I didn't like that.
Right. I would say that...
Careful, you're bringing me to a 4 now.
If they didn't have a shitty love interest, and
Come
like
to the
Carlos
dark
and
side.
Marcus have both said, I'm going to drop this from a 7 to a 5.
Yep.
Damn! That's a drop.
Because this movie, well, yes, I had fun with it. Man, if you give me a movie that I'm fucking lost through halfway, and I have to look at the synopsis of it,
Yeah, same. Exactly, bro. Don't make me look at a synopsis to trying to figure out what the fuck's supposed to be happening with this one character. Like, I hate you. I hate you now.
The reason why it's still a 5 and not lower than a 5 for me, because if if the action was that good, this shit would have been a 3, if not a 2 for me.
No. If the action was shit, this is a 3 movie. This is a 2 movie.
This is just Korean hardcore Henry. That's all it would have been.
Let's not. We're okay, guys. I just want to go that far. We've mentioned this a lot. Hold on. Now this is not the first time we mentioned this. Let me just plug this, guys. We have a review for a movie called Hardcore Henry on our channel as well. Please go watch that if you really are wondering why we keep referencing it. It's a first-person action film done on a GoPro, and it's god awful, but it's like god awful to the point where it was entertaining the whole time.
It was never entertaining.
No. When we talked about it, all 3 of us were entertained. We were entertained by each other. There was a point where the horse happened. We entertained each other at laughing and making fun of this movie the whole time. So, guys, go watch that review for sure after you watch this. All right? If you're wondering why we keep mentioning
Hardcore Henry. Before you watch that review, watch this movie and get in the comments and tell us what you think. Because
hell yeah,
the action's the only thing I liked.
I mean, guys, you
really want to see what would happen if we all watched these movies in the same room. That just sounds...
break loose. Hell is gonna be too close. Hell is gonna break loose.
At some point, you're as long as we never have to actually, like, what we can't do is record ourselves watching it, because I would drop so many words I'm not supposed to say on the internet. I'd be like, I'd say some shit Marcus would be like, bro, you can't say that. There's so much editing I have to do. I'd be like, it's so fucking stupid, and then followed by 18 different expletives that you're not supposed to say on the internet. Oh my god!
One thing I'd like to do with this channel one day is just to have a live movie reaction where we're all just sitting in a room and just watching it. And then
it's got to be something simple. It's got to be something simple that we don't intend to get monetized, because it can't be this bad.
Closing it off, Carlos give it a 4 if I'm correct?
Yep.
Marcus and I both give it a 5.
Yep.
So that was my movie picked. What is the next movie we're watching?
Guys, next week, it is my week. Next week we will be watching Bullet Train.
I was about to pick that movie.
Starring Brad Pitt.
What streaming service is it on?
It is on Netflix. It's on Netflix. It just got added, I think, this past month. Came out in 2022. Yeah, it came out in 2022. It's one of those movies that like, they're going to try to do some dumb comedy in it, but it's a Brad Pitt film. At this point in his career, he's been doing a lot of, like, I'm just going to have fun.
To not watch this movie.
I have too, but then I saw the trailer. I saw the trailer as I passed it on Netflix. Like, you know when you stay on something on Netflix too long, like you're hovering over it so it plays the trailer? I was like, honestly, this is going to be fun. If nothing else, it'll be a fun time. I'm not expecting to be 10 out of 10. It'll be funny, though. So Bullet Train, guys, go ahead and watch it this week, and then next week, let us know what you think when we post that.
Yep.
All right. Bye, guys.